Well, here we are again in my other studio. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. And this is what I call my morning musings. I'm normally at my desk, seated and filming this, but I'm doing some special filming for some projects. Look, one of those projects is on Acts 1, 9 to 11. I am currently finishing up the production of a DVD series. So far it's 14 lessons on that prediction that Jesus would come in like manner. This will be the most comprehensive, the most exhaustive study of that text that I'm aware of having been produced by anyone. You need to be looking for it. I think it will be tremendously helpful for anyone who has struggled with that context and with that prediction. So again, be looking for that. Well, we're currently talking about the Messianic Temple. There's always, it just seems like there's always some new news that is reported. We're told, well, another red heifer has been born, and it's sign of the end that the temple is about to be reborn. That goes all the way back into the 60s, by the way, of just one red heifer after another being born, nothing happening. But I'm sharing with you what the Old Testament actually predicted in regard to the Messianic Temple, demonstrating that what the Old Testament predicted and how the New Testament interprets that does not fit the dispensational view at all. It does not fit the Zionist view at all that claims that we're about to see, just at any time, the rebuilding of the Jerusalem temple. In the previous segment, we examined Isaiah chapter 56 and how the Lord predicted that in the Messianic temple, strangers, foreigners, those who were called allogenes, which means they are not of the tribes of Israel. That's the normal, preponderant use of that word allogenes. But watch, not only would foreigners be welcomed in, but it says eunuchs would find a place within the temple and would be given a name better than sons and daughters, and they would no longer be called dry trees. Now, that's kind of some strange terminology, isn't it? Well, let's take a look very quickly at what this means. What's so astounding about a prediction that says eunuchs would be a part of the Messianic temple? Well, it goes back to Deuteronomy chapter 23. In Deuteronomy chapter 23, the Lord was very specific. Now, this regards the tabernacle, but it was true also of the temple, both Solomonic temple and the Herodian temple. Any man that was injured in his genitalia, any man that was incapable of producing children through the natural conjugal relationship, was not permitted to enter into the court of Israel. They were forbidden. Now, there are two reasons for that. Number one, because he's damaged, he's injured. He is less than, quote, perfect, unquote. But secondly, under the Old Covenant, the kingdom was maintained by marrying and giving in marriage and bearing children. A eunuch, unable to produce sons of God, was therefore called a dry tree. Now think about that. Eunuchs were completely excluded from the court of Israel, were not allowed to worship with Israel in the court of Israel because of their physical deformities or handicap. And because they could not produce children, i.e. sons of God, they were called dry tree or dry trees. But Isaiah says that in the Messianic temple, not only would they have a place in the temple, they would be given a name better than sons and daughters. And number three, they would no longer be called dry trees. Now, the significance of that is absolutely astounding. If they would no longer be called dry trees, that means that eunuchs could produce sons of God. Now again, notice, under the Old Covenant, marrying, conjugal relationship, children, sons of God. Eunuchs, no marrying, no children, dry trees. But in the Messianic Temple, the eunuchs, now he may still be a eunuch biologically or physiologically, but he would not be a dry tree. How would that be possible? It is because in the Messianic Temple, under the New Covenant, a eunuch, unable to produce sons of God biologically, could produce sons of God by sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ. And as John chapter 1, 10 and 11 says, speaking of those who first of all rejected Jesus, but he says, to those who accepted him, to them gave he the right to become sons of God, not by the will of man, not of flesh, not of blood, but by the will of God. Becoming a son of God by faith, not by flesh. That's exactly right. And even eunuchs, by sharing the word of faith, by sharing the gospel of Christ, could produce sons of God. Now, as we continue our examination of this, Isaiah chapter 56, we're going to see an astounding fulfillment of Isaiah 56, and it will show us the very nature of the Messianic kingdom and temple, and it in no way resembles what our dispensational friends describe. It will prove to us the Messianic temple is the spiritual body of Christ. You just don't want to miss this stuff. Now look, in the Preterist Pilgrim Weekend 2013, pardon me, I have an entire lesson based on Isaiah 56 and the conversion of the Ethiopian eunuch in Acts chapter 8. That's where we're headed with this. You simply will not believe the power of seeing how Acts chapter 8 and the conversion of the Ethiopian eunuch is the fulfillment of Isaiah chapter 56 and the implications for understanding the Messianic temple. You can order this. Go to my website, www.eschatology.org, BibleProphecy.com. Order the Preterist Pilgrim Weekend 2013 on the Tabernacle of God is with Man. Mention that you saw the offer on YouTube or Facebook, and I'll refund your shipping. Like I said, you'll be astounded, and you'll be thrilled at what you hear. Get a copy of that. We'll see you on the flip side.